Hi everyone! I hope you're all doing great. Today, I'll take you step by step through the process of building a breathtaking train tunnel, featuring realistic landscaping with carefully placed rocks, a variety of stones, lush green grass, and beautifully crafted trees to bring the scene to life. For this project, we'll be using an A4-sized thermocol sheet, 30 centimeters by 21 centimeters, a roll of brown craft paper, cloth plaster strip wrap rolls, putty filler, a variety of paints, glue, and hot glue sticks. The train tunnel is perfectly compatible with O-gauge trains and Limax villages. Let's get started with part 2. At this stage, your project should resemble the one shown in the picture. At this stage, we need to finish the interior of the tunnel. Start by painting all the inner walls with gray and allow them to dry completely. Then, mix gray with white to create a lighter shade. Use the dry brush technique as demonstrated in the video. Dry brushing refers to a painting technique where you use a brush with very little paint on it. The brush is dry because most of the paint is wiped off onto a paper towel or cloth before applying it to the surface. This creates a soft, textured effect, allowing the underlying layers or details to show through. Once the paint dry completely, apply a black wash. A black wash is a technique used to create depth and shading on surfaces, often in painting, model making, or DIY projects. This is the final view from the backside of the tunnel. Cut 2 thermocol strips, each measuring 2 centimeters by 30 centimeters. Paint them using the same technique, then install them at the bottom of the tunnel to cover the gap between the internal walls and the train rails. In the next step, design the shape of the hill or mountain you envision. Take your time to create a form that matches the landscape you want to achieve. To ensure stability and structure, add supports beneath the paper. These supports will help maintain the desired shape and give your creation a more natural and realistic appearance. Now it's time to install the paper and shape your desired mountain. Apply hot silicone glue to the supports, then gently press the paper onto them, securing it in place. As you work, adjust and shape the paper to achieve the natural contours and details you envision for your mountain. Take your time to refine the form, ensuring it looks realistic and blends well with the overall scene. Dip the plaster tape into the water, gently smooth it over the surface, and use the brush to ensure it adheres well and creates a smooth, seamless look. Continue repeating the same process until the entire area is fully covered with plaster tape. Work carefully to ensure each section is securely attached and smoothly blended with the surrounding surface. As you progress, take the time to shape and refine the contours, making sure they look natural and cohesive. Pay attention to any gaps or uneven areas, adding extra layers if necessary to achieve a solid structure. Keep adjusting and fine-tuning until the final result meets your expectations and creates the realistic mountain or landscape you envision. Now, it's time to create some realistic-looking stones for your diorama. Start by taking a small bowl and adding a little bit of water. Gradually mix in the plaster while stirring continuously until you achieve a thick, paste-like consistency. Once the mixture is well combined, create a thin layer of the plaster into the bowl, ensuring it spreads evenly. Let the plaster sit undisturbed until it fully dries and hardens. This will serve as the base for your stones, which you can later break into smaller pieces to create natural-looking rock formations. Using the same method, we can also create larger rocks for our diorama. Start by mixing plaster with water until you achieve a thick, smooth consistency. Next, take a piece of aluminum foil and crumple it to form a rough, rock-shaped mold. Carefully open the foil just enough to create a hollow space inside. Pour the prepared plaster mixture into the mold, ensuring it fills all the crevices for a more natural texture. Once filled, let the plaster dry completely before carefully peeling away the foil. Now, let's return to working with the small plaster stones. Begin by breaking them into smaller pieces according to your specific needs and the design you have in mind. Once you have the desired sizes, add a small amount of putty along with a little water into a container. Mix everything thoroughly until you achieve a workable consistency. After preparing the mixture, carefully place the small plaster stones in your preferred areas, ensuring they fit well and align with your overall design. Once positioned correctly, allow them to dry completely before moving on to the next step. Now, it's time to position the larger rocks in your project. Before doing so, make sure you have already marked the designated areas where these bigger rocks will be placed. It is important to plan their placement in advance. Once you have confirmed the placement, take each large rock and apply a generous amount of putty to the backside. This will act as an adhesive, helping the rocks stay firmly in place. Carefully position each rock in the correct spot, pressing it gently to secure it properly. After placing all the larger rocks, allow them to dry completely. This drying process is essential to ensure they are securely attached before moving forward to other details. At this stage, your project should resemble the one shown in the video. That's it for now. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for part 3 and the next steps.